This presentation looks at performance management and the concept of the Balanced Scorecard. There are several reasons why it is important to look at a range of control measures when reviewing and evaluating organisational performance. The first is that financial measures are often too short-term. That is, we can make decisions that increase profit in the short term but may have detrimental effects on the long-term performance, such as reducing the spend on marketing or product development. Financial indicators are also what we call lagging indicators, in that they tell us how well we have done in the past. We need measures that tell us something about our ability to perform in the future. There is now much more attention paid to stakeholders, and if we take a stakeholder approach, we need a range of measures that can tell us how well we are meeting stakeholder expectations, and not just the shareholders. The business environment is much more competitive, and the focus of today's successful business is on satisfying customer expectations. So we need measures that indicate our degree of competitiveness and how well we are meeting customer needs. The business processes are more complex, and the operational staff have more control over the process, which means we need a range of measures over and above the traditional financial measures of control. And finally, developments in information technology enables us to collect more information than the older systems used to be able to capture, and therefore it is easier to provide a broad range of information to help manage the business successfully. When we are talking about a multi-dimensional performance management system, we need to be able to collect and report on information that is not just internal, but also includes external information, such as information on competitors. It also needs not just quantitative, but qualitative information, such as customer satisfaction levels. And not just the past, but also measures that indicate the future performance, such as lead time to develop new products. Kaplan and Norton developed a framework that they referred to as a Balanced Scorecard, which assists in translating the organisation's mission into a comprehensive set of performance measures that provides the framework for implementing its strategy. Kaplan and Norton suggested that an organisation's vision and strategy is best achieved when viewed from four perspectives. These are the customer perspective, which asks how do customers see us, the internal business process perspective that asks what must we excel at, the learning and growth perspective that asks how can we improve and create value, and of course the financial perspective that asks how do we look to our shareholders. The diagram shown here is a slightly different representation to the scorecard framework developed by Kaplan and Norton, but still indicates all the performance measures will stem from the vision and mission, or the business strategy, and that all the perspectives will interlink with each other. Pie charts are often used to indicate the perspectives by which an organisation measures performance, and many include more than just the four shown here. It is popular, for example, to include things like the community or the people. The diagram shown here, for example, illustrates the scorecard that was used by Tesco plc, a UK-based supermarket chain, and indicates that perspectives can be developed that suit each individual business. It was used to illustrate that the measures on the steering wheel are how they drive business success. Kaplan and Norton suggested that each perspective has four elements: the objective or goal, the measure, the target, and the initiative. The inclusion of the initiative is important as it provides a mechanism to challenge the status quo. It is often all too easy to roll the objectives over from year to year, but using the initiative prompts the organisation to consider whether there is anything they can do to meet the objectives, so it aids the development of the organisation. There can be a temptation to report far too many measures, and this can confuse managers as to where to place the emphasis on managing the business in order to achieve the objectives. A concept of critical success factors helps to focus the reporting of the key information to the right people in the organisation. The process begins with determining the objective. The critical success factor then asks, what do we need to be good at in order to achieve our objectives? This then determines what we need to measure. If you imagine that everyone in the organisation, no matter at which level they work, has objectives, this concept can help to target the right information to the right people. Kaplan Kaplan & Norton also promoted the use of a strategy map. This maps the performance measures and the perspectives to indicate how they interact. Strategy maps invariably link from learning and growth to internal, to customer, to the financial perspective. In the example here, we can see that if we train our staff, this will lead to improved efficiencies, which will lead to increased customer satisfaction, which will lead to enhanced financial performance. Therefore, the performance measures need to monitor these elements. It is also worth considering that traditionally organisations have been good at monitoring the results via financial performance. However, what we also need to monitor are the determinants. For example, in the service sector, these could be described as the quality of service, the degree of flexibility, the resource allocations, and degree of innovation. All of these link together to help us achieve the financial performance and the degree of competitiveness. And therefore what this illustrates is that although not in the format of a balanced scorecard prescribed by Kaplan & Norton, but we're looking at a range of performance measures over and above the financial performance. This video is part of a series of short videos that explain specific aspects of the strategic management framework and cover some of the strategy models that can be used in the analysis, formulation, implementation and review and control of strategy and the role of the management accountant. This presentation is provided as part of the support materials for the book Management Accounting in Support of Strategy by me, Graham S. Pitcher, and published by Business Expert Press.